The show starts in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
Whether you're new to sales or a lifetime veteran, the Blackbelt Sales Podcast will sharpen your sword and guide you to master the art of sales. And now, here's your host, the ninja himself, Gene Slade.
Hey, sucks. What do you think about Comcast? Not. I think they suck.
Yeah, it gets difficult to deal with their customer service. Let's not have the customer service of our internet providers. They probably are the worst when it comes. We're going to have to do a little better job than that. But good part about bad service. That's a great thing you said that. Good thing about when you receive bad service or our clients receive bad service from other companies, it lowers the bar for everybody. It lowers the bar of their expectations. So it's really easy to come in and look like a superstar, right? It's much easier. So even though it's frustrating, almost embrace when you go to a restaurant and you get bad service, because that same waitress or that same company restaurant is giving bad service to everybody. Yeah. And it makes your job look that much easier when you actually go and act professional. So it's a wonderful thing. You're making money every time you get bad service because it makes your service look so much better. And I love your pool there, man. That looks awesome. I'm looking forward to come and see that. I'd love to have those little fire bowls.
Yeah, those are nice.
I think that's cool. So great. So
let's talk about follow-up this morning, man. And it's worth saying that professional salespeople follow up, right? If you're an insurance salesperson, or Don, you were a certified financial planner and had to build your own book of business, right? Yes. And in the trades, most of the technicians and salespeople that work in the trades, they're typically spoon-fed leads, right? Now, maybe you're in an area of the country right now where you're not getting enough leads, and that's all the more reason to follow up. But we're spoon-fed and we're lazy in the trades. So most people don't follow up, which is why there's so much money left on the table.
Sure.
So let's talk a little bit about follow-up. You had a couple points that you wanted to talk about. I definitely got a few that I want to add. And then I also want to give people some ideas about how I can follow up and not sound like just everybody else. And thanks for putting that up, Brittany. Guys, please comment live if you're watching us live right now. And if you're watching us on a replay, please comment replay. Okay. So Don, I'm going to give you the floor for a second. Go ahead. And I know you had a couple points you wanted to make.
Well, one of the things about follow-up is it's like we think that we can only follow up the calls that didn't buy from us. And,
right.
And that's kind of there's nothing left to follow up. No, there's probably a ton of the calls you went on that could be followed up on. Even if they bought something, there's still the rest of the list. So
assuming that you created a prioritized list and did a full inspection.
Sure. So if you look at the big picture and look at everything, there's probably more items. So think in terms of follow-up, not on the ones you missed or the ones, I think they were right on the fence and I think I'm going to get it. Because when you first think about I'm going to do follow-ups, those are the ones that come to your mind. But that's the tip of the iceberg. And, we know that analogy. There's more of the ice under the water than there is above the water on an iceberg. So there's a lot more to follow up. The ones that bought part of your list, that's another item. Follow up on the ones that do a coworker swap. Work with someone who gets it and is part of the sales process. Maybe just like you, part of the listens to these podcasts, part of the Lead Ninja certification, and just swap leads. Here are the ones I followed up on, and then give them the ones that are, give them to somebody else. They might be 15, 20, 30 days old. And you're thinking to yourself, I ain't following up on these anymore. I'm sick of these people. Well, swap that with someone else. I'm not going to say give them away, swap them. for every 5 I give you, you give me 5 of yours that look fresh to me, right? Give you something new to do.
Don, I used to know a salesperson that had another running buddy that he would meet with every single morning for breakfast, and they would do just that. Sometimes they at breakfast would call each other's leads for them, and they would let them know what had happened on those calls and what they thought might be necessary in order to turn that deal. That's being a professional salesperson and not just an order taker.
I mean, that's having a system that's very professional. That is certainly a different level. I had a salesman, Eddie, who worked for me, and if I knew a job was going to be in depth, because you can just see it coming. I've got issues, or they've got to take it to a committee. You can just tell that it's going to be more than one call. I would try my best to steer that one to Eddie, because that boy was relentless. He would not ever give
the
up.
Dog on a bone.
Oh man, he would continually follow up, and that's the kind of guy that you want to partner with, because you're making a deal with them. Probably they get some commission, they throw some back to you. You're still benefiting some commission, whether it's a 50-50 split or whatever. It's between the two of you, or whatever your company will allow. But you want that kind of guy who's just relentless on following up. In your organization as a business owner, I'm glad I had one of those. I would have loved every one of my salesmen to be that, but I knew if I had one, I'd try to steer those kind of deals to them, and it was incredible. So
how can that conversation sound? Should we give an example of what that would sound like? Maybe if you're calling back on somebody else's lead.
Yeah, I mean the typical. Let's first say you follow up on your own lead. What's the script going to be there? So, what would that script sound like, Gene? What do you think that should be?
So it depends on the situation, but a good general script that works would be something like this. Don's let's just role play it for him real quick. So I pick up the phone and I call Don. Ring, ring.
Hello,
Mr. Johnson.
Yes.
Hey, this is Gene Slade. I'm with Lead Ninja Heating and Air Conditioning. I was out there 2 days ago doing a tune-up on your system, helping you to breathe cleaner, fresher air. Do you remember me?
Oh, absolutely, Gene. Yeah.
So, Mr. Johnson, I was laying in bed last night, staring at the ceiling, thinking about your job. I even talked to my supervisor about it, and we've got a couple of ideas about how we might be able to save you some money, maybe make you an offer you can't refuse, but I don't want to say anything until I take another look at the job. Are you going to be around at about 6 o'clock?
Well, yeah, that sounds good.
See you then.
Okay.
I'm probably gonna pick something up for him. I might pick up a pint of ice cream or something like that for them for dinner. I might bring a coffee if it's in the morning time, whatever. But some little token of gratitude that also could create a sense of obligation.
And the big point of that is that you weren't selling and trying to close on the products or the list. What you're trying to sell on that follow-up is getting back in the door. People will not let you back in the door for something they're not serious, or that they bought from someone else. If it was an equipment job and I've already gone, it's already been installed, I'm not going to let you back in the door. I'm just going to fess up to it right there. So remember, what you're selling on that follow-up phone call is an opportunity to get back in the house. And I need some reason to get back in the house. And that is, I have to take another look. I had this idea, but I don't want to say anything until I take another look to make sure that it's going to work like I remember. And it's not part of the words, but that's what you're essentially saying. I got to take another look to make sure this idea my boss gave me will work, right? This new thought. So will you be there in the next hour? It's okay to follow up when dispatch says, I don't have another call for you, take lunch, and when I find something, I'll call you, or I'll put it on your iPad, as the world is now. But that's when you think, that's what triggers. I'll start doing some follow-ups for you. I'll start calling. And sometimes you'll call the office back and say, hey, Mr. Smith just got off the phone with him, and he wants me to head over to his house. Can you put that as my next item on the schedule?
I'd much rather run that call.
Yeah, much time the dispatchers will say, great, because I hadn't found anything for you yet anyway. You solved dispatch's problem in a way. right?
Don't go home, guys. Follow up. Don't waste time. Follow up. If you're at work, be at work.
Right.
And then Don, one other thing that is key to mention here, Don kind of laid down for me a little bit on that role play. Now, if I'd said, "Are you gonna?" I've got a couple of ideas, might be able to save you some money, maybe make you an offer you can't refuse, but I don't want to say anything until I take another look at the job. Are you going to be there around 6 o'clock? Don might say, "Yeah, I'll be there," but what were you thinking? Exactly. Right? He's going to try to pull information. Now is not the time to give information. You're selling an appointment, like Don said. So I'll go, look, I really don't want to say anything until I take another look at the job. I'll see you at 6 o'clock, okay? And then just make that be it, okay? Right. Now, let's also talk about following up on somebody else's deal. Could I not use that exact same script? Hey, I was talking to John this morning. We've got a couple of ideas how we might be able to save you some money, make you an offer you can't refuse, but I don't want to say anything until I take another look at the job or until I put my own eyes on the job. Yeah. Can I come by around 6 o'clock? You're going to be home. Exactly. Boom. Now you're back in. Now, if I'm doing like volume or if I'm doing service tickets, I follow up a little bit different, Don.
Right.
I'll make that telephone call and it'll be like a happy call, right? And Don knows all about this, but let's roll that call real quick. Let's say that there's a prioritized list that was created and maybe the customer bought the mandatory, maybe they didn't, but there's other stuff on the list that they didn't get. All right. So that telephone call goes like this. Ring, ring.
Hello.
Hey, Mr. Johnson.
Yes.
Hey, this is Gene Slate. I'm one of the quality control supervisors over at Lead Ninja Air Conditioning. And did I catch you at a horrible time?
Oh, no.
Awesome. Just had a few questions for you about the service you received the other day. First question was, did the technician call you prior to arriving to let you know he's on his way?
Yes. Mm-hmm. Not a problem.
Did he wear shoe covers each and every time he came into the house to make sure that he protected your flooring from dirt and damage?
Yeah, he did. He did a great job.
Good to hear that. And then lastly, did he explain everything in a way that was super crystal clear? You understood everything. There were no questions.
Yeah. Yeah.
So sometimes the call will go right here and they'll be like, well, there was some stuff I didn't understand. And now you've got the opportunity to clarify those things for the client. He understood everything. That's wonderful, right? I'm going to go, well, Mr. Johnson, thank you so much for your time. I really, truly appreciate you as a customer. Our whole company does. Without people like you, we couldn't exist. So thank you for that. Oh, and by the way, it looks like there were some things on his list that were in the mandatory column that you chose not to go with. Would you mind sharing with me why? They're going to unload. They're going to tell you right now. Like, I've been doing this for years, guys. This is the fastest way to money is just to sit and do follow-ups for a company. But they'll tell you about it was the money or whatever the objection is. They'll tell you over the phone because they can hang up. It's non-confrontational, super easy for them. So those are two badass scripts, FYI, that you guys could use today.
Exactly. And I know in Alabama, we've had a lot of rain. I know there's probably areas of the country that y'all are still busy, but either way you look at it, whether you're dealing with some, the company not as busy, the weather's cooling down, it's all coming, right? The slower season will hit us all. And there will be some follow-up opportunities that we can utilize. And our own, everyone else, and the co-workers that we know aren't going to follow up, we can build our own business. We can build our own world just with all the things that we didn't get all summer long because maybe guys were just so busy they just didn't do it. So, if any of that is affecting you, work on this skill. Start thinking in this list. Start asking co-workers to partner with you. Start asking dispatch if you can do a few of the, just happy checks. Just make sure that the clients were happy. With everything in your spare time.
And think about it, guys. Like if you're riding around in a truck, how many people can you see a day and really be thorough? 3-4 people a day if you're going to be really thorough. I can call 50 people by lunch, right? I can talk to, 5-6 times as many people as you're going to see. So if I was going to work at an air conditioning company today, I would want an inside sales position. I would want to go sit in front of the database, find out what wasn't sold yesterday and for the past week. And I would just be making telephone calls and I would be closing stuff left and right, guys.
Customers, people are going to ask or think am I being pushy if I do these follow-ups? Is this going to come across like I'm pushy? So many of our technicians, some are worried about the perception I'll be pushy.
Yeah.
It won't come across that way because it's an easy conversation. Will every conversation, if you called 50, I don't know that we have the stats to show, but it's calling from ideally a caller ID that shows your company name. They're more likely to answer. The process is not threatening at all. It's not hard to do at all. So you can get a lot of those on the phone. You'll have some nice conversations that might not result in anything other than the client feeling good about doing business with you, with the company. And then there'll be a few conversations that happen out of that, and it will be okay for every one of those, right? It'll be okay if it didn't work out and we make them feel good about they just bought from us. Would you really love for all your clients to really be happy that they did business with you?
When was the last time, Don, you had a service company that came out and somebody called the next day or within a week just to ask you some quality control questions about how your satisfaction was? When was the last time that happened?
And really, with everything being automated and service tight, and we were on it, and you get these automated emails and text message, they feel computer generated. When they first came out, they were wonderful. Wow, look at all this follow up the system's doing, and their customers feel good. Now it doesn't feel personal. So a phone call, back to the old school, just like writing stuff down on a piece of paper versus using the iPad to build your list. Old school results in, I'm going to see if I can make it, but old school results in old money, where you start to get that kind of wealth that becomes generational, that you can pass on to your children. It's huge. Old school, old ways do work. Piece of paper and a pencil is incredible. And a phone call is still appreciated, even though people will, might not necessarily answer, but every call, but when they do, it feels so personable. But are there some other ideas? Okay, let's say we have what we want to say. Are there any other methods that are okay to do on your follow-up? Gene, what's your thoughts there?
So that's exactly where I wanted to head next. And FYI, I'm probably going to have to be off of this in about 5 minutes or so. So we'll probably have to wrap it up. Okay. But let's just look at some different ways, right? So there's the obvious telephone call. Number one, if you are following up, one rule to follow is that if you don't leave a voicemail, it doesn't count as a follow-up. Okay? So every single call that you make, you should be leaving a voicemail if you don't talk to somebody. It's better to follow up also 3 times a day for 3 days than it is once a day for 30 days.
Right.
Okay, just quick stat for you guys. It's more, and that's a lot less follow-up, right? So pick a smaller list and follow up with those people 3 times a day. So you've got the telephone call. You've got the old handwritten note, Don. Handwritten thank you card. Thank you for your business, or thank you for your time. I had 2 different ones, right? Put something personal in there. Great to meet you today. Tell Fluffy I said hi. Give her a milk bone for me. Whatever, right? Like something kind of personal. There's text message, right? And then go ahead, Don. You were going to say something.
Yeah, and it's those personal things that make it go away from this was automated, right? That somebody in the office just sent it for you. And that personal touch is huge. So the text message is good. A video text message. And I love your rule about that. I hate my own voice. I hate my own video. Just pick the phone up, hit the camera, say it, hit the send button. Don't even try to edit. Don't try to make it. It's just personal. It's okay if there's mistakes in there. Mistakes make you look human and make you look tender-hearted in some ways, right? So it's okay. You'll get better as you do 2, 3, 10, 100 of them. You'll get better, and that's okay. But the process is do it. Yeah, go ahead.
The rule that Don's talking about is that when you do shoot a video to send somebody in a text message, you do it in one take. And I'm not talking about splicing stuff together. I'm talking about you open up your camera, you say what you have to say. If you mess up your words, if you fumble a little bit, send it anyways. It doesn't matter, okay? Because if you're trying to make it perfect, I promise you, you will never send it. Okay, just send it. If somebody sent you a text message and they messed up a word and had to re-say it, would you laugh at them? Would you think they were stupid? No, right? Customers, it makes you more human, okay? You don't need to be perfect. So the text message is used 3 ways. Number 1, a regular text. Number 2, a video text. And then, Don, what's the third way to use text?
Yeah, the audio text as well. It's okay to just send that audio file across.
Yeah.
It's different. Be different. Most of the computers can't send video or audio files, but they can send the text across. So it shows a personal touch on there. And that's what you're really back to is personal touch. Even though we use a lot of automation in this world and believe in it, the personal touch will come to the top of the list for you. So that's a handful. You can think of some more. You can simply just drop by their house.
The personal visit, the site visit.
I got a call, make an appointment. No, I was down the street. I was driving by, and I remembered you guys, thought about your situation. I just thought I would stop in and ring the doorbell and just see if you're home. There, you can be bold, and that kind of things can result in some amazing stuff.
Did you end up replacing XYZ? No. Well, look, I was driving by and I had a couple ideas how I might be able to save you a little bit of money, maybe make you an offer I can't refuse. But I just didn't want to say anything until I put my eyes on the job one time. Can I look around for maybe another 10 or 15 minutes, see if any of those ideas will work?
Same script. You're just at their door versus on a phone call. Now, what other information can you send? We're about to wrap this up. You can think about the things you presented and go to the manufacturer or go out and find third-party articles and just send those texts over, right?
I came across this today, and I was thinking, it made me think about you. Thought you might enjoy this.
Exactly. It doesn't have to be product, but it could be the issue that they're having, duck leak, EPA, articles.
Yeah, don't send product brochures and shit like that. Okay, that's bad.
Because I can get a product from anybody.
One more thing that I think is worth mentioning about what you said about the text messages, sending a video or an audio. Guys, there's curiosity in there. You see a video come across on a text message. Who does that? When was the last time somebody sent you a video text message? Like hardly ever, if ever, right? Mm-hmm. So the curiosity is what gets them to go ahead and engage or to watch it, right? Same thing with the audio. What is this? There's an audio message. I'm going to listen to this, right? It's the curiosity that gets the attention. What you lack right now in your follow-up is attention, all right? I learned this from Grant Cardone when I became one of the very first 10X mentor coaches and speakers in the world. And that was that my number one problem was I forgot the word now. Essentially, nobody was thinking about me. Mm-hmm. Nobody was thinking about me. They were thinking about whatever they were watching in front of their brain. Facebook is your competition, right? There's all these social platforms. Obscurity. Thank you very much, Brittany. I appreciate that. Obscurity is your number one problem as a salesperson and as you are following up. They are not thinking of you. You've got to be at the top of their mind. And that's why it's better to follow up 3 times a day for 3 days than it is once a day for 30 days. Back to you, Don.
Yeah. Well, a lot of great ideas. If the weather is changing, if they've had a lot of rain, man, the forecast here in the South is a lot more rain. We may have to actually work a little harder than we did during the drunken monkey season of the summer.
Right.
So just know it's coming. Work on yourself. But today has been some great follow-up ideas. So if you've got something out of this, put that in there. If you want more information about our mastermind class that's coming up, it's been scrolling on the screen. Just put mastermind in our mansion event. We're doing this one in Gatlinburg, but we also have a mastermind that meets twice a week for 1 hour each day to do constant follow-up, constant training. If you want information,
it's one-on-one coaching in a group setting. So we'll bring people into a group, and then everybody gets to learn from the questions that are asked.
So we have mastermind, we have the mansion event, and we do one-on-ones at your location. So if you're a business owner or manager and you'd love to have the ability to jumpstart your whole team, not just the one or two that you can get to an event. You can jumpstart your whole team, having Gene, having myself out there. There's a couple of different ways. Add those to the mix. And I believe you always ask if you're on Spotify or Apple, go and leave us a review. 5-star review would be wonderful.
Please.
If you can. Please do that. So that should wrap it up for us. If you have any other questions, put them in the comments or join us again on Thursday for the next Black Belt, Lead Ninja Black Belt Sales Podcast. So,
before I sign off, guys, I'm going to take maybe 60, 120 seconds and just share with you a little bit more what's going to happen September 29th through October 3rd in Gatlinburg. We've got an 18,000 square foot mansion out there, and we'll be having somewhere between 60 to 70 people that will be arriving there on the 29th. We're going to hang out, eat some dinner, maybe have a couple of drinks on the 29th, which is a Sunday night. And then Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday we'll be training. Monday and Tuesday we'll all be together. Wednesday, we're going to break apart into 2 different groups. Don's going to take a certain percentage of the group. I'm going to take a certain percentage of the group because we're going to be covering 2 different things. But once the thing about this trip is that we're all going to be staying together in this mansion, and you're not going to be going off doing other things. You're not going to feel discluded. It's more like a family type event, if you will. And the training that happens outside of the classroom, the conversations that happen outside of the classroom, we've been told are in some cases even more impactful than what happens inside of the training. You're going to have full access to myself, full access to Don, who sold his company not too long ago for an 8-figure profit. So if you want to get closer to us, this is the way that you do it. One of the things that some of you are lacking is proximity to successful people. And you have to pay for that proximity. When I was training with Grant, I had to pay 6-figure sums to be in proximity with that man and with his team. And it made me a lot of money. All right. You'll never lose money coming to an event like this if you've got the right mindset. All right. And we're going to set you up for such phenomenal personal and business growth. It's going to blow your mind. So if you've got any doubts about who we are or what we do, I've got testimonial after testimonial, people that are willing to talk to you to help you make that leap. Just remember, you are paying for this, whether you get it or not. All right. Time does not replenish, guys. We can't get to yesterday back. Money replenishes. Time doesn't. Use your money to compress time and get where you want to go faster.
Yeah.
Don, I appreciate you coming on with me.
Appreciate it. I was very proud of Harley this morning telling us the month before training did about 17,000, and so far this month it's not finished, already at 42,000. This is just a service ticket maintenance call, so this is not a necessarily big
green guy.
Yeah, and so triple, maybe even going to have a chance to 4 times his revenue in a month, which should result in 4 times his income, or at least a substantial jump. So,
and all he's selling are add-ons, Don. That's it.
Yeah, very proud of that. Those are the kind of success stories I've actually enjoyed the most from, because again, we can hear the big stories of people doing 3 and 4 and 5 million. It's the guy that was only going to do a few $100,000 that has now a chance to do 500, maybe $1 million, up from 200. That's the incredible stories that are really fun to hear. So I know you got to wrap it up, Gene. Thanks for your time today. And again, if you got more information about the mansion event in Gatlinburg, September 29th through October 3rd, our one-on-one weekly training, or even having us come to your company and get you ready for the fall season, where you're going to need every indoor air quality cell that you can get. On the screen, you'll see Gene's phone number, 239-848-65.
Shoot me a text.
Shoot him a text. Get in his client list right there. I don't take calls from people that I don't know. He doesn't most likely answer phone calls from people he doesn't know. Text him your information, text him your name, your story. Get in his phone just for someday when you might need that conversation to have.
And not only that, guys, I have a really, really impressive Rolodex. So if there's something that I can't help you with, I promise you, I know the best in the industry for whatever it is that you need for your business.
Right. And we've done that. I do that a lot, is where you send them the information of where to get this or where to get that.
Yeah.
And I've been doing
I connect people. I connect owners with owners all over the country, no matter what it is that you need for your business. So, guys, have an amazing day. Hit me up on my cell, 239-848-6533. Get your tickets now. We're almost 50% sold out for that event. So, love you guys. Have an amazing day. We'll catch you next time on the Black Belt Sales Podcast. Cheers.
Good luck, guys.